started with a whisper, a single case in the neighboring village. At first, we thought it was an isolated tragedy, a sickness carried in by a traveler. But whispers turned to murmurs, and murmurs turned into alarm. Soon, the village elders gathered in the square, their faces shadowed by worry. Cholera, they warned us, a word thick with fear. I was just a child then, but even I could sense the way the air changed. People stopped lingering outside their homes, and laughter faded from our community like a distant echo. My mother boiled every bucket of water we brought into the house. Her hands blistered from the heat. My father, a farmer, began bringing his tools inside at the end of each day, instead of leaving them in the field. The first case in our village came within a week. Uncle Darius, our neighbor, a man who had always seemed stronger than life itself, fell ill suddenly. His fever raged, his body weakened. The whole community knew before the day was over, but none of us dared visit his home. The elders decided that his family would be isolated to contain the spread. I saw Darius's youngest daughter, Alma, standing at their doorway, watching us watch her. The innocence from her face had vanished. All that was left was confusion and fear. What followed felt like a storm sweeping through the quiet lives we'd known. Symptoms multiplied around us. The stream where we collected water was declared unsafe. Our livestock became potential carriers, and the very hands of our neighbors were labeled dangerous. Yet, it was in the midst of this panic that the true weight of our village's resilience began to show. The village healer, an elderly woman named Lemia, emerged as our anchor. She turned her small hut into a makeshift clinic, insisting that if anyone wanted to survive, we needed to work together. Cholera is the sickness of water, she told us one evening, her voice steady as she addressed the gathering in the square. But it's also a sickness of carelessness. She instructed every household to boil their water, even if it meant chopping down the last of our firewood. She demanded latrines she dug far from our homes, a task people completed by hand till their fingers bled. And perhaps most importantly, she taught us to look for the signs early: dehydration, weakness, and the infamous vomiting and diarrhea. But it wasn't just the healer's guidance that saw us through. Our village came alive with determination. The men, who once worked separately in their fields, began hauling water and wood together to ensure no family ran out. The women cooked communal meals, sharing whatever resources they could spare. And even I, young as I was, helped to fetch herbs from the forest on Lemia's instructions. The days stretched into weeks. We fought the illness as best we could, but not every battle was a victory. Darius's family of 6 dwindled to 3. Old man Elderidge, who had been the first to volunteer to dig latrines, caught the sickness and didn't recover. We mourned each loss together, but even grief was brief, replaced by the unyielding need to survive. And survive we did. The end came quietly, like a long winter finally giving way to spring. New cases slowed, and eventually they stopped. I remember the first afternoon the children dared to play outside again. The clumsy game of tag began near the well, and Alma, Darius's surviving daughter, laughed for the first time in months. That sound rippled through the village, like sunlight breaking through clouds. Looking back now, I realize how close we came to being erased. Cholera had stolen so much from us, yet it had also revealed our strength. We were not a village of individuals. We were a community. Lemia, who guided us with unshakable resolve. Darius, who sacrificed so his family might endure. And even the children, like me, who ran through the forest for herbs. All of us had our role in the fight. The scars Cholera left behind didn't fade, but neither did the lessons. Even today, if you visit our village, you'll see wells fortified, latrines kept far from homes, and every child taught the importance of clean water. That's our story. Not just one of survival, but of perseverance, wisdom, and unbroken bonds.